Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you stopping by. Today, we're going to be talking more about Wwe 2K17, a little bit of a discussion. It's E3 week. There's a lot of news coming out about a lot of games. Obviously, not too much happening on the 2K17 front. We're finding out some of the people that are going to be on the roster, etc., etc. But as time gets closer to, officially revealing actual news about the game and features and all that kind of stuff, this is kind of discussion time. This is where we start to hear little rumors and pieces of what might be, what could be, what might happen, this might be there, that might, and whatever. So this is kind of that time of year where we start ramping up to that. And there's one thing that I really want to talk about as far as 2K17 goes. And that's the best way for me to title this and to explain it is what I feel. This is just me. This is all my opinion. You guys might not agree, and that's perfectly fine. This is my thoughts and my opinion on 5 mistakes that cannot be made in 2K17. That's probably the best way for me to word this. I don't want to say top things you better not get wrong or blah, blah, like just mistakes that really can't be made so that we can really start to push this franchise, this WWE gaming community, and just the game as a whole, to push it up to that next level, because it's not as big as an NBA 2K or a Madden or a FIFA, etc., etc. And there are things that can be done, in my opinion, to get it to that level. So let's start it off. 5 mistakes to avoid in 2K17. Number 5, leaving out important current superstars. This was a big problem in 2K16, and this is something some people probably didn't care. I'm sure there's always different groups of people. There's people that care a lot, there's people that care a little, there's people that don't care at all. But there was a big portion of people that really cared, and I was one of them. Like, it bothered me a little bit that the 4 horsewomen were not included in 2K16. Sasha, Charlotte, Bayley, Becky were not included in 2K16, even though they were putting on incredible matches in NXT. They were moving up to the main roster. There was a lot of backlash right off the bat about them not being included in the game and not even being DLC. It's one thing to not have them in the official release of the game because of timing or whatever, but something went on behind the scenes that no one really even knows to this day why it happened. But that was a big hole. That's 4 more women, and there's usually not that many women on these rosters to begin with, on the game rosters. So 4 of the top women in the division were left out of the game. That's a mistake that can't be made this time around. So people who are making an impact now, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. I tweeted this out last week. I have this sinking feeling, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I feel like Nakamura is not going to be in the game. I don't know why. Again, I have no inside information. I don't know that to be a fact. I just have a feeling. I don't know why. But like I said, people like AJ and Nakamura and people that are coming up now, Gallows and Anderson, they need to be included in the game. And again, I understand timing and development cycles, and sometimes things get out of whack, and at the end of the day, it's the decision of WWE. It wasn't like 2K said, you know what, we don't want Sasha, Bayley, Becky, Charlotte in the game. We don't want them in the game, so we're not gonna put them in. Like, it wasn't their decision. I understand that. So WWE then has to be aware of the effect that has on your game. If you're releasing 1 game a year, just 1, like a Madden or a FIFA or an NBA. Well, NBA is NBA Live, but if you're releasing 1 game a year, that game has to be pretty damn current. Or if it's not current, you gotta keep it current throughout the year. And that's a big problem. A big problem that the WWE games have over the years. It's semi-current when it comes out, but it's so rarely updated that a few months later, it's completely out of date. So this is just the first one, and I'm going on a long tangent. Hopefully this is not too long of a video, but that's my number 5. That's how we're gonna kick this one off. Number 5, you can't leave out current superstars. Number 4, and these aren't necessarily in order, because if they were, this would probably be a little bit higher up. You can't neglect to fix your online issues. And there are a lot of issues with the WWE 2K online features. Constant disconnects, lag like you wouldn't even believe, and just an obvious lack of desire to make it better. You know, when I was growing up, video games were all about single player, single player, single player. Is the single player story good? Is it fun? Really, the only multiplayer that we knew about was sitting next to somebody in your damn house playing the game together. But now, multiplayer is so important. It's such an important aspect and feature to a game in 2016, especially a game like this, where people want to take their superstars and fight. Like, it's not a fighting game, but it's a fighting game. Like, you're... How do I word this to not sound like I'm making it seem like wrestling is this big fight? Like, it's not a Street Fighter, it's not a game like that, but at the same time, you're one person, the other person is one person, and you're trying to beat the other person. You know what I'm saying? So it has more similarities to a fighting game than you would maybe think about on the surface. So because of that, I think you really need to make sure that the appropriate time is dedicated to making the online features as solid as they can possibly be. Because 2K15 was atrocious. 2K16 was bad. I'm talking about online features. 2K15 online features were damn near non-existent. 2K16 was better, but still nowhere near where it needs to be. Again, in my opinion. We're just talking here. You might not agree with what I say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's something that needs to be addressed because it's a big time feature that a lot of people would love to take advantage of. Like, I don't play online. I don't play with my subs. I don't play with my friends. I don't play with other people because the online features suck. I get hit up all the time. Oh, come on, Chris Danger. You're so good at 2K16. Come play me. I challenge you, blah, blah, blah. And like, I never do it because it's not fun to sit there and be frustrated about lag and about, you know, just trying to get a game to connect. Man, doing that damn King of the Ring tournament, bro, that took years off my life. That took years off of my life because of how frustrating it was, especially the tag team one, bruh. Worst idea ever, Chris. The tag team 2K King of the Ring tournament was so difficult to put together. I really hope you guys enjoyed it because it was a pain in the ass to get 4 people to connect to one match together. Unreal. So I don't mean to go on a long crazy tangent, even though I have been in this entire video, but I really do think that that's a big feature that needs to be improved. Number 3, a mistake I feel like needs to be avoided is relying solely on showcase mode to drive the game and the sales of the game. Let's look at NBA 2K16 for a minute. Regardless of how you feel about it, the Spike Lee career mode story was so heavily pushed and promoted and just like, hey, you guys need to test out this new career mode story thing that we're intertwining together. And it was pretty cool. It was a little too many cutscenes for my liking. There was a little too much story, not enough basketball going on, but it was a cool concept to see implemented in the game. If you watch the FIFA 17 reveal, the career mode or the story mode is being pushed very heavily as this big grand thing. Pushing showcase mode as like the mode for the 2K games, I don't think is the best way to go. Now let's think about this for a second. Career mode in NBA, FIFA, Madden has a career mode too. NBA, FIFA, Madden, let's look at those 3. Compare the life of a football player, a basketball player, and a soccer player. Yes, football and soccer are 2 different things, deal with it. And compare that to the day-to-day and the backstory and just the general story of a professional wrestler. What can you do in a game in the NFL? You can work out, you can practice, you can request to be traded, and you play games. You play the games at the position that you're in. That's pretty much it. There aren't too many things that change throughout your career as a football player. You know, once you create your person and, you know, set your attributes and play a couple games, take your team to the Super Bowl, blah, 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 then what? Then you're just playing games. You know what I mean? Whereas in wrestling, It's very unique. Let me get my thought out here because I'm still collecting it in my head, but it's so unique because you're building a legacy as a wrestler. So you have to worry about your appearance, your music, whether you're a heel or a face, your moveset. You know, are you gonna be a high flyer? Are you gonna be a technician? Are you gonna be a submission specialist? You gotta work your way up through NXT. Then you kind of do the lower shows, the superstars, the main event. Then maybe you get on Raw and SmackDown. Then you start doing pay-per-views. Then you can go for a certain title. Then you go for a different title. Then you got Money in the Bank. Then you got the Royal Rumble. Then you headline WrestleMania. You still haven't won the title yet, so you're grinding to win the title. All along the line, you're changing your outfits, your personality changes. You do a heel turn. There's so many things that happen in the life and in the story of a professional wrestler. It seems like the WWE career mode should be light years ahead of any other career mode in any other sports game. In theory, the WWE 2K career mode should, excuse my language, shit on all the other sports game career modes. They should, and it doesn't. NBA blows all of them out of the water. And this is even before the Spike Lee one, even like NBA 2K17, that career mode was great. It gives you more. You know, it's a basketball game and there's not a lot you can do, but it makes you feel like you're doing more. WWE's 2K career mode should be blowing all these other ones out of the water. That's what again, my opinion, that's what I think the game should be hanging its hat on. You know, this in-depth, incredible experience of building up your superstar, building a legacy, becoming someone, main eventing these shows, winning these titles, going face and heel, gaining your fan base, selling merchandise, friggin' changing your outfits, changing your music, your moveset, figuring out what kind of superstar you're going to be. So many aspects go into it that it should, in theory, crap on the other career modes. Is that gonna happen in 2K17? I don't know. Maybe there's this big grand scheme that I don't know about that they're working on for career mode, but maybe not. And if not, I think it's something that should be taken into consideration because, like I said, at this point, the WWE career mode, people should want to buy the game just for the career mode. They should push it, they should promote it, they should just make it this incredible in-depth story and experience that makes people want to play it again. Once you play career mode one time, you don't really want to play it again. And that's something that can easily, I don't want to say easily, but something that can be fixed with proper time and effort. So that's a mistake I hope 2K doesn't make. Number 2, this video is already a lot longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna try to bang through these last two. A mistake that I don't want to see being made, neglecting to, and I kind of talked about this in a previous video, neglecting to capitalize on the new revolution of women in wrestling and the fact that the women's fan base in WWE has been growing like a lot. The male demographic is dropping while the female is growing. And that's something I feel like should be taken advantage of. So leaving out women, I almost said divas, leaving out, you know, important women in professional wrestling in the WWE right now would be a big, big mistake. They did it last year. I don't think they'll do that again, but I kind of felt the need to say it just to make sure. And finally, number 1, a mistake that no game developer can afford to make, but since we're talking specifically about 2K17, this is what we're gonna talk about. Neglecting to innovate. Neglecting to push the franchise and the series forward and just hanging your hat on what you did previously and slightly tweaking it. Yeah, a lot of sports games do that. Madden is probably one that does it more than anybody else. NBA, however, I feel like from year to year has been getting bigger and better, adding new features, adding more depth to their story and stuff. Here's the thing about WWE. WWE fans will buy WWE games. The same way football fans will buy Madden, the same way basketball fans will buy NBA 2K, the same way soccer fans will buy FIFA year after year. The problem that I feel like a lot of developers make is that they use that as a crutch for not innovating, for not taking risks and trying new things. When you release a game year after year after year on the same time, it's a yearly development cycle. Obviously you're pressed for time, but not only that, it's like, I feel like developers sometimes use that, and I'm gonna be honest, I feel like sometimes it's used as an excuse to not push it a little bit harder or a little bit farther. Now, here's where 2K is in a tough spot with WWE compared to like NBA. to my knowledge, as far as I know, 2K has to run almost everything through WWE. So WWE leaves a lot of bumps in the road for 2K to have to kind of navigate. I feel like if 2K had the opportunity to, because I like the people that work there. I know a lot of them. I've spoken to a lot of them. They're all really, really good people who really want their game to be good. I want to make sure that's out there. Like, they very much want to make a great wrestling game. But I think if they had the opportunity to make the game that they wanted to make and the game that they know we want as gamers and as you know, fans of the franchise and of wrestling, I think this franchise might be in a different place right now, a much, much better place. So this isn't really a mistake. I wouldn't necessarily even really say this is a mistake, but this is something more on WWE than on 2K. WWE needs to kind of pull back and let the game developer develop the game, you know? If 2K says, hey, you know, we're gonna make this realistic, but we're also gonna do this, 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 and this so that it's more fun and blah, blah, blah. Like, if they were able to do that a little more freely, I think it'd be a different story with the WWE franchise. That's just, again, this is just my opinion, all stuff that I think. Y'all might not agree, and I do wanna know what you think are some mistakes that cannot be made here in 2K17. Let me know that in the comment section below. This video is way longer than I wanted it to be, but thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button as hard as you possibly can, and stay tuned for much more 2K17 videos and content, and of course, all the other great content I got going on the channel. Don't miss any of it. Subscribe now if you're not subscribed already. Stay tuned for much more. This video is so damn long. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.